Cool. All right, I'm going to talk about the journey and how long it took and the frustrations and like how I really got started. So this all started a really long time ago, maybe 10, 15 years ago. I was always stuck at 255, 230. My waist was 42 inches. If this is you, you should probably listen to this. So it was very frustrating going through my life. I would go to the gym every day. I would Google how to lose weight. I would try all these fad diets and nothing was sustainable. I would go to the gym. One day I would do sprints on the treadmill. One day I would do the elliptical and I'd be flying on that thing. Some days I would just always do one or the other, but mainly the elliptical because it was easier on my body and I was so darn fat that it was really hard for me to run on the treadmill, so I wouldn't even bother. I would go in the gym, I would lift like real heavy weights and get my weight up, and I could lift a lot, but I wasn't losing any weight. And I would go on the elliptical for the hour, sometimes 2 times a day, and I might lose 1 pound. I would go home, I would order food, I would eat grilled chicken, brown rice, broccoli. Sometimes I would eat sushi. I thought sushi was a good option. Chicken, vegetables, like, all stuff I was just searching on the internet. And I just couldn't lose any weight. It was really, really difficult for me. And I'd always teeter around 255, 230 on good days. My clothes fit good. Sometimes they didn't. I'd get really sad, depressed. I'd always wear black t-shirts or like black thermal shirts because it made my chest look big, my arms look big. My belly was there, but it would kind of mask it a little bit. So it was a lot of things at play here. And I just couldn't get past it, and I would do the same thing that, all the guys do or everyone does, like, okay, I'll just eat a bunch of lunch meat, I'll eat a high protein diet, I'll drink my protein shake after my workout and do all these things. But nothing was really working. I would stay clean throughout the week. I eat clean throughout the week, no carbs, doing this kind of thing. And then I'd work out. Then I'd go out on the weekend. Maybe one day I would drink, and have a cheat day. That day I would drink or eat whatever I wanted, within reason, as far as calories go. But it didn't matter what I ate, just as long as it was around maybe 2,500, 3,000 calories. Yeah, that's probably where I was going wrong, but this has just been a long, long struggle for me, in and out. I always carried the weight well, and I was able to manage the world pretty well. And, I'd get made fun of here and there by my friends, but nobody would ever come up and, stare at me and be like, oh, look at that fat guy over there or anything. But when you do the math and you really look at it, at 255, at 5'9", that's pretty bad. 42-inch waist, that's brutal. Things were tough in life. So like I couldn't walk up and down the stairs. I couldn't tie my shoes. Getting dressed was difficult because I'd roll around because my stomach was in the way. I was so darn fat. And it is what it is. It was my life choices. I didn't know any better. I didn't know anything about gluten, inflammation. I just knew that carbs were no good. Eat high protein. They would tell you just do high protein, high protein, high protein. Eat fruits and stuff, and never anything really about vegetables. I thought a vegetable was broccoli, spinach in my omelet, broccoli with my chicken, a little bit. Eat the brown rice. Eat brown rice. That'll help you lose weight. It'll keep you full longer. Eat oatmeal. I was eating oatmeal with eggs, mashed up. It was good. As like a post-workout meal to get my protein post-workout to keep the gains, and I do the cardio every day, and, I just was not getting anywhere. And then I got a good trainer named Felix at DBC in Miami, awesome place. Felix would do functional stuff with me, but he always told me, Jeff, you cannot outwork a poor diet. And I never listened to him. I was like, right. I'm in Miami, I'm going to live this life. When I go to dinner and I go out to eat, I'll just have the fish and a vegetable, or, I'll just eat the meat. Maybe I'll have a dessert, on a cheat day, or, I'm going to run a little bit more this day. And, Felix was right, man. He was so right. And I'm not even calling it diet stuff. So fast forward a little bit further. I was making a little bit of progress. I got from 42 down to 38 on a good day, 36 if I was really doing it. But the whole thing is this sustainable at 230, 220, 210, 5'9"? I'm an athlete. I played soccer all my life. So I have like this inner drive, I have inner heart, and I will push through anything, as I'm sure most of you do. And, I'm a little gym rat. So like I'll go do all these wild exercises. But the problem is that they're very, very difficult. And if you're not fit, but if your stomach is there and you're not engaging your core properly, you're going to have a big problem. And I'm like, man, I'm only like 30, 32 at this point. And I'm like, I have a 42-inch waist at 32, being a prior athlete. This is not even acceptable. And like, it's frustrating. And I try everything I could and work hard. But when you're that big, you can't really run or sprint. So the whole thing I was thinking, and why I'm making this video, is there is no way from 32 to the rest of my life that I can work out doing these HIIT workouts, jumping on boxes, sprinting on treadmills, doing row sprints, 5,000 sit-ups, bench press, all these crazy exercises that burn all these extra calories all my life. And nor did I want to. Do I want to spend an hour or 2 hours in the gym every day just trying to lose weight or keep up? That's crazy. So there had to be a better way. So I would try like battle ropes, different cardio, walking, riding the bike. It all is good, but like I couldn't sustain it being 200 pounds, 230. Then I get down to 210 and I feel good, but then my waist is still 36, maybe 34, and I'm teetering there. Then I make it down to about 220 and I stay between 220 and 200. That lasted about a year or two. That was good. I felt great, and I got real cocky. I was like, oh man, I'm thin, but that 220, 210, 34-inch waist at 5'9", my frame, you're still fat. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. And I wasn't healthy, and I was bloated and inflamed, and I wasn't eating properly. I was eating decent. It was getting better, but I'd still binge. I'd still eat the gluten. I'd still have the desserts. I just didn't know what to do, and I'd work out hard. I'm doing okay, but I'm just like breaking even every time. And I'm not really trying to count calories either, or go into one of these calorie deficient modes where I'm bulking, I'm cutting. That's just a crazy lifestyle. I just wanted to be healthy all year round. So I just thought to myself, how can I possibly do this? What cultures are healthy all year round? Because Americans go up and down, up and down, up and down. Either you're like this big bodybuilder and you're eating meat and tons of protein, or you're a vegan. I'm not even going to comment on that. Or you're vegetarian and you only eat vegetables and you're just skinny, which is okay, and the meat thing is okay, but there had to be some kind of balance. It wasn't sustainable to only eat meat all day or only eat vegetables. So I'll go further along into that later. But now I'm at 200, 210, 190. I'm doing okay. I'm working out, but then I had to come up with a plan. I was like, I need to come up with a plan for anybody in America to be able to do this, because I'm super lazy. I don't have time to work out all day, run 2 sessions a day, doing sprints, all these things, hiring a trainer, cooking all these foods. There's got to be a simpler way. So my idea was, okay, just have a healthy diet. Like Felix said, you can't outwork a poor diet. So if I just eat the right foods all day long, the weight will come off. So I said, let me try and prove this for a year where I can lose weight, not work out, not do cardio. I did like stretching and lifted weights, but nothing like, I never sweat, and I did a lot of stretching, and I never did any cardio for the whole year. And I was able to lose a good 20 pounds just by eating properly and not doing any cardio, and that felt amazing. And then once that happened, once I flattened my stomach a little bit, I suffered from something called diastasis recti, and that's when I was eating so much gluten and just inflaming my belly, and just, my belly would go it was just massive. Like when I look down, I can't see my feet. I had a big, it wasn't massive like most men when you look at him like, wow, look at that guy's belly. It was just enough to protrude, but I did have muscle, so it was like a hard fat. It was really weird. And it's kind of what most men look like, that are kind of like, you're like, he's not fat, but he's not fit. That in between, like puffy, bulky. He's probably strong, lifts weights, works out, that look, the dad bod, I guess you want to call it, but with a little bit of muscle. Or this is like the dad that plays softball on the weekends, so he's kind of fit, but he's not, but he's not just flabby like the dad bod. So all said and done, your stomach comes out like this. This right here is your six pack, right? Each side. And then the center is the line down the middle. So that's right here. So as my stomach got bigger, my abs started to separate like a pregnant woman, right? So this line down the middle started to open up. And eventually it got so weak that when I was doing abs and certain exercises, I couldn't pull my stomach in and contract it and pull your belly button to your back, because I had so much garbage in my body, inflammation, food, the organs were swollen. Like you can't even suck your gut in because there's nowhere to go, so you can't even engage the core properly. So when I would do my bench or my lifts, I'd extend out like this, squeeze my belly, contracted, it got hard, lift weights, but I wasn't using my core, I wasn't getting the full effect, and I wasn't using the full force, and I was just tearing my abdominal wall more and more. So one day I was doing walking lunges, I could muscle through all these. I can do bench press, I can muscle through it, but then one day I overextended, and finally this was so many micro tears that eventually it just went, and now for the last 2 years I've been trying to repair this without surgery, but it's really difficult. You have to really focus on the core and breathing and really bring things together to prevent or to clear the diastasis recti what most pregnant women get. Mine was very severe. So when I flex my abs, I would have this big gap down the middle. You can actually stick 2 fingers, 3 sometimes, in between it. And that's really disheartening when you're making all this progress working out and you're losing strength because you can't even contract your core because all your energy's going outward. I can't even bring it inward. So this whole time I had to practice breathing, bring all that together. I'll do a video on that later, but let me get back to it. So now I'm like 200, 180. I look fine, but I'm still bloated. I feel better, but I'm not getting all the way there. Like why can't I get this weight down to like 170 and just be normal, for 5'9" and just, not have a little bit of a belly, not be all puffy, and just look healthy and fit, and drop this little bit of weight, So I just kept dieting. And then one day I just said, all right, I'm doing good. Here and there, like, once every couple months I'd have a cheat day or, binge on something, or like once, a month, and that's why I wasn't getting the results, and that's okay, but I was doing all right. That was good enough for me, but then one day I was eating like that and I ate a few Cinnabons and I had, I think like 5 or 6 of them, not even gonna lie, from the bakery, like I didn't eat anything all day. I've been running, I feel great. Okay, YOLO, let me live once, let me reward myself, whether it's 1, 5, I have a food addiction. I don't know all this stuff, so I just ate a bunch, till I wanted, it's like, whatever, it's 3,000 calories, it is what it is. I'll eat it, big deal. I'm eating it, my stomach starts to expand further. My breath started going. I couldn't breathe. My lungs were pressing up. I was like, oh my God, I think I'm having a heart attack. Right on this floor, I fell down and I was like, whoa, I can't breathe. I can't get up. I don't have my phone. Am I dying? Like, this is crazy. So I'm like, and I crawled to the bathroom, forced myself to puke, finally puke it up. I can breathe again. And then that's when I hit rock bottom. And then everything changed. And that's why I'm here today, because I hit that rock bottom. I saw my life flash, all for a little bit of pleasure. And when I hear people say you only live once, who cares? Indulge, you deserve it, all this stuff. You only die once. I'm not trying to die over and over. You know what I mean? Like, I'm always living. You know, it's not about that. Like, you know, we're brainwashed here. So that's like the mentality that I needed to get out of, and then people around me need to get out of. And that's what I'm trying to pretty much relay to everybody, that that mindset has to change. There are better options and there is a way, and you can break free of this. You're just not getting the proper information. It's very doable. I have a Substack that I've tracked this whole journey, where you can go read every day the food intake. And I'm eating massive amounts of food. I also eat meat, I eat vegetables, I do minimal exercise, and I'll show you the transformation from the start to the finish. And I'm doing a 90 day one right now transformation, and it's all on there, and it's easy to follow. And you know, I hope it inspires somebody, and it's doable. But like, man, it wasn't easy, and it took like hitting rock bottom really to make the change, because you couldn't tell me anything. You know, I look good enough, you know, and all these, you know, my clothes fit good enough. I could still get girls, good enough. You know, I could still walk, good enough. Could I run or anything? No. But did it matter? No. Good enough. And that's not the way to live. And there's so many things telling us that a dad bod is cool. You look good enough. You know, you have money, it's okay. You, whatever the story is, you know what I mean? Like, it's a big deal. And that's what I'm trying to tell everybody now. So thanks for listening. See you next time. I'll talk about diastasis recti in men. That's a big deal. And the dad bod. And I'll post some of the videos. See you.